speaking.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. How much is he sort of consulting? Are you guys going to him a lot? Obviously, there's a little poetic license going to be taking, but how much of the real neuroscience are you guys going to incorporate?
Well, I think one of the things that, the way I look at it, and I think the way Gale looks at it, is that the science is a support for the character drama. We're not doing a science show. That said, I'm a writer. Everything that happens to me goes into the mental jukebox, and I pull the lever, and out come the jelly beans. So all the interactions I have with Moran, he teaches me things, and those go into my brain. And so when I'm thinking about, season 2, if we get one, I'm already thinking about, how can I incorporate those ideas? Would it be interesting to have a Moran character who puts electrodes in people's brains? That's kind of cool. So the fun for me is everything is fodder, and Moran is such an interesting guy. He's got such interesting ideas in this world.
I don't know if any of the rest of you are aware, but this is a guy who used to be a computer hacker who became a neuroscientist. And so part of what he does is he is hacking into people's brains.
He's at one of the other tables. You'll get him. He actually goes in and records the sound your brain makes when you think of certain things, and he's able to show you something, record what your brain does, then have you think about it, and think about things, and he can tell right before you think of it because your brain makes the same sound right before you say it. It's really cool.
And there's already there's already imagery where when you're talking about, are there dream recording devices? They're not quite that, but they're beginning to sort of map them well enough that you can see certain of the images that someone is dreaming on a computer screen.
Yeah, they can take the noise from your brain and turn it into a visual image.
So anyway, but the other thing that I find just as fascinating is these fantastical stories that wildly creative writers come up with, then turn into science. I mean, I think that the great science fiction writers were so prescient and so and so clairvoyant about where the world was going that almost nothing that they've imagined, isn't right now probably being researched, and we'll see evidence of from space elevators to
the internet coming alive and killing us all, Terminator.
Who would have come up with that? They're visualizing. I mean, this is such a visual palette of the show is so rich. I mean, it seems to me that I want to watch a nice big screen, full surround sound. I think both of you agree that's the best way to
absolutely.
watch
I mean, the sound on this show is so vital because it's the long redhead stepchild in television, but everybody now has sound bars, and they're listening better, and so you can do things that you couldn't do in television before. You can push the boundaries.
It should be a Dolby Atmos.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like
you can make that happen.
Yes, just like that.
It's like things David Lynch was doing in film, in the 80s. You're only now doing in television, and we want to be one of those shows on the forefront of that. I mean, a perfect example. There's a sequence in episode 3. I don't know if any of you have seen the episodes. There's a sequence.
4 of them are available. 5th is about to be available
to critics, but it is a 6-minute sequence. We shot it in 6 hours. It took me 4 hours to sound mix it. We spent that much detail on trying to get all the layers out. That particular sequence had 235 elements going on the mixing stage. We take an extra day and a half per episode to mix than your standard USA hour. So sound is super important.
So big shout out to them for
they do a great
supporting
job.
this.
So my subwoofer is going to be challenged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because to make original shows that aren't based on existing IP or a remake or or a sequel of a show or a spin-off, guilty. I really hope that they're rewarded because I think audiences really want more of that, and so you guys hopefully can help spread the word because otherwise, I mean, it's so much easier for someone to say, well, I'll just watch that remake of MacGyver, or I'll watch that because that's sort of familiar. I think the people who are taking the bold swings, the networks really do.
Everybody dreams, so there's something in this that everybody can relate to as well.
And so we try to treat the audience with a lot of intelligence as if they want to pay attention. They're not, this is not a fold your laundry show, and we're proud of that, and we think the audiences dig that. It makes the show makes them more excited about it. If somebody, God willing, if we get the audience, I really hope there's a Reddit thread. I hope there are people who get excited about that. I think one of the things that underpins the show is this idea of connectivity. And the ultimate connectivity of being able to talk one-on-one to each other's truthful selves. And that's the ultimate idea of the show. So while not an openly tech-heavy show, there is this technological idea of the way in which we're all connecting to each other through ways that are by proxy, and then how close can we make those proxies? Could we do it literally psyche to psyche? And what's interesting about it is we don't say that that's good or bad. We just say that that is. I mean, a lot of shows want to judge technology. Technology is neither a good nor bad thing. Technology is a tool. It's how we use it, and that's part of where the fun of the drama is, and why we don't need a big bad. It's why you can have good people and bad people who can be opposed to each other. Two good people can be opposed to each other because technology can be used in these ways. And while we don't have people with devices spinning, we don't have brain things. They just fall asleep in that way. It is an idea of connectivity and technology and of the future of the way in which we relate to each other.
Each one of these characters, if you're not familiar with it, there's something that's missing in their lives. So it's very grounded in that. So Tess is convinced she's had a baby. There's no proof that she's ever had one. She's seeking that child. That's missing from her life. And Taka his mother has been catatonic for years, and he's seeking that connection. And Burton is madly in love with a woman that he's not sure, he can't prove is real, that he has this passionate, life-changing affair with, seemingly in his dreams. And I mean, those are all things that are grounded, that we can all relate to, as opposed to people in sort of this just, petty world of metaphysics.
I'm sorry, guys, we gotta wrap up now. Thank you so much. One more question, just quickly about the visual language for the dream sequences. I'm just curious about what informed the choices about just cinematically.
I think what we wanted to do was try to create grammar where you experience dreams very first person. And I think just to follow up on the last thing Gale said is, in a show where we do bend the boundaries of reality, we always wanted to allow the audiences a place in, and that place is these grounded emotional journeys. So you never wonder what the characters are after. The characters' motives are really clear. Find my girlfriend, find my child, reach my mother. And so no matter how surreal we get, how much we bend the walls of reality like, The Matrix would or something like that, you always are emotionally oriented because that's what carries you through a good story. It's the longings and wants and desires of your character.
Thank you, guys.